Hello and welcome to the V8 Supercars America Series. I am Kane Craft, getting started just a little late. Boy, I'm having some serious PC issues here. Hoping to get through the broadcast here today. The guys have just started the race. See if I can get that up here. For everyone to see. Right, the way it's looking now, here 3 laps in, Bo Cubis is in the #1 spot. Luke Harvey in 2nd place. Paul Gorell in 3rd. Richard Elward in 4th. Mick Cracknell in 5th. Sean Macbeth right there in 6th. Greg Jones there in 7th with Jake Burton in 8th. Ross Rizzo in 9th. Cameron Dance in 10th with Adam Hyland in 11th. Todd Parks in 12th. Rory Windrum in 13th. Brian Borg in 14th. Kevin Bualasa in 15th. Tim Fultz in 16th. Raymond Stair in 17th. And Sylvan Moraine in 18th. Getting ready to get to lap 4. Where are these guys at, actually? Yeah, here in the last quarter of the track or so. Bo Cubis getting ready to come around to lap 4. All 18 drivers still on track. I'm spent preparing for these things and all that. Just kind of showed up tonight, jumped on. Graphics card wasn't working. Had to do a restore on the PC to go back a couple weeks to get the drivers to install, and by the time I got all that done, we were already in the race. But things looking good so far. Bo Cubis out in front. Luke Harvey still in 2nd. Looks like he might be catching up just a little bit. 1.7 seconds separate Luke Harvey and 0.6 seconds from the bumper of Luke Harvey. Behind Paul Gorell is Richard Elward. He's 3 seconds back from Paul. And then Mick Cracknell should be right on the bumper there. 0.28 seconds back. So Mick Cracknell looking to get something done with Richard Elward just in front. Mick Cracknell is the points leader coming into tonight's race. He and Paul Gorell, the only two really in the race at this point for the championship. So far, Richard Elward still holding off Mick Cracknell. Mick right there, still at the exact same distance back, 0.283 seconds back. Mick Cracknell literally right on the bumper of Richard Elward. And the fight is heating up ahead of those guys for 2nd. Paul Gorell on the bumper of Luke Harvey. So the SDC boys charging hard here tonight. We've got Bo Cubis out in the #1 spot. See if I can get some names on the screen. There we go. Luke Harvey in 2nd, and then Paul Gorell in 3rd. Richard Elward in fourth with Mick Cracknell right there. Now Mick Cracknell with some pressure from Sean McBeth. Sean back in sixth place. And he's got Jake Burton back behind him. Jake looks like he'll be catching up soon as well. He's well within 1 second of Sean McBeth. So we're going to have a great race up here at the front as Luke Harvey in second, Paul Gorell about a half second back. Then you got Richard Elward. Richard is about 4 seconds back from Paul Gorell. Then that's where the battle really gets close. You got Mick Cracknell, Sean McBeth, Jake Burton, all right there, battling for what would eventually be that fourth position up there, with Richard Elward holding on to it right now. Back here for sixth, Jake Burton, right on the bumper of Sean McBeth, looking to get to the inside here for the hairpin turn. He did get position. Sorry, I got distracted there, guys. It's been happening so easily with me here lately. That's going to move Jake Burton up into sixth. Jake with a little bit of damage to sorry again, some data come across the screen that had to try to figure out what that was. But as I was saying, Jake Burton in the Custom Image Concepts Holden moves up into sixth, just ahead of Sean McBeth. That's going to put Jake tracking down Mick Cracknell. Mick has had a little bit of difficulties getting around Richard Elward here at Phillip Island, and that might pose some problems as Jake Burton catches up to him here. Just ahead of those guys, Paul Gorell in third place, still within that half-second mark, or just right at about the half-second mark, behind Luke Harvey. We're 8 laps in. Luke Harvey's been holding on to that second position. And then, of course, Bo Cubis out in front, now 4 seconds ahead of Luke Harvey. So Bo Cubis just out in front, kind of running away with this thing. Luke Harvey with big pressure from Paul Gorell. And back and forth, Richard Elward with some pressure from Mick Cracknell. Jake Burton right back up in the mix now. He kind of fell off of the battle for those guys just a little bit whenever he had to contend with Sean McBeth, but now he's caught up to Mick Cracknell and Richard Elward, and I imagine we're going to see Jake Burton. Nope, Mick Cracknell fell back in line. Thought Mick was going to go ahead and try it there into turn one. Thought better of it. Jake Burton now right up in the fold. If Mick Cracknell doesn't do something soon, he will have to contend with Jake Burton. Mick Cracknell sends it up to the inside of Richard Elward. Richard gives him plenty of room there. Mick Cracknell now to the outside of this turn. Isn't going to get the pass down. Richard's going to hold on to position. Mick Cracknell still back in fifth. Jake Burton just being patient back there actually through all that. Just kind of watching to see what happened with those two. Definitely a great race here for what is the 4th position that Richard Elward holds. Both Mick Cracknell and Jake Burton anxiously wanting that position. According to the live timing, everything's still looking the same up there for the 2nd place battle with Luke Harvey and Paul Gorell. Paul Gorell still holding it right at that half-second mark back behind Luke Harvey. As we are on board with Jake Burton, watching this battle. Just up ahead, oh, a little bit of contact maybe. Richard Elward gets just a little sideways. Mick Cracknell is going to get through, so will Jake Burton. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between Richard Elward and Jake Burton as well. We're going to go back and take a look. If I can figure out this new software good enough to do that. Back just a little further. Alright, we are in replay mode here. Don't have a big graphic for this replay to announce it. It just kind of goes back. But Mick Cracknell goes to the inside of Richard Elward. Just a slight little touch there maybe. Richard Elward didn't allow quite as much room as he did the last time around. And yeah, Jake sneaks in there as well. A little bit of contact from Richard Elward there as well. Rips the bumper off the custom image concepts machine, as well as the fender off the NZ machine. So things have really kind of changed around here for 4th. Mick Cracknell moves up into 4th. Jake Burton 5th, 6th. Sean McBeth still back there in 6th. Sean holding on pretty good. He's about 1 second down from those guys. Probably caught up just a little bit with the contact and stuff. Check back on the lead. Bo Cubis doing quite well here today. He, as you see there, quite a gap between he and 2nd place, Luke Harvey. 5.4 seconds now separate the leader in 2nd place. Paul Gorell back behind Luke Harvey. That gap has increased. Luke Harvey is now pulled away to 1.2 seconds. So maybe a little mistake from Paul or something has increased that gap where it had been at half a second for so long. Now that gap is up to 1.2 seconds. So the gap has doubled. Big battle between Jake Burton and Mick Cracknell. Jake Burton actually showing in 4th on my screen. So for some reason I'm not getting an exact live update here. Jake must have got around Mick Cracknell at some point to get credited for that 4th spot. I imagine it will change as they cross the line. Alright, Jake Burton does move up into 4th place. Mick Cracknell back in 5th. Richard Elward holds on to 6th, but Sean McBeth catching up pretty quickly. Sean McBeth Oh, my live timing is just not getting data. If the broadcast is a little choppy, my apologies. I will upload the master file afterward. If it's too choppy, I'll upload a master file that won't have any choppiness to it at all after the race is over. Okay, so Jake Burton has moved up into 4th, Mick Cracknell in 5th, Sean Macbeth in 6th. I'm showing Richard Elward in the pits now. He is down in 11th place. So Richard Elward electing to get a pit stop out of the way. Might get a little bit of repairs. Probably not, though, if his car was handling okay. Yep, he is off. Looks like he just got some fuel. Lap 14 of 27. Bo Cube is still out in the lead now by 5.6 seconds over Luke Harvey in 2nd place. Paul Gorell in 30 is holding on to that 1.2 seconds gap between he and Luke Harvey, so that had to have been a mistake that cost him that half second that he had earlier. All right, Jake Burton into the pits now. That's going to move Mick Cracknell up into 4th. Sean Macbeth in as well, just behind Jake there. Alright, so it's going to take just a little while for all of the pit stops to kind of play their way out. Alright, the ticker at the bottom of the screen will show those drivers who have made their pit stops and who haven't, just to somewhat keep track of that information. I apologize for sniffing it going on in the mic tonight. I'm going to blame the mic for that. Nah, just kidding. I really have had... It's starting to get cold here, and it takes me just a little while to adjust to that. But hopefully that happens soon, because I'm sure it's probably bugging you guys just as much as it is me. Alright, Ross Rizzo out into the front as He has not pitted yet. He, Brian Borg, Todd Parks are the three left to hit pit lane. Get a shot of that Kiani machine. Alright, so after pit stops, Bo Cubis 6.6 seconds ahead of Luke Harvey. Luke with 3.1 seconds over Paul Gurrell. Paul with 2.1 seconds over Jake Burton. Jake Burton with 1.7 seconds over Mick Cracknell. Mick with 3.999 seconds over Richard Elward. And Richard with just 1 second, 1.1 seconds over Sean Macbeth. So that is going to be the closest battle on the track as Sean Macbeth tries to run down 8th place Richard Elward. Looks like Richard's doing just fine with holding off Sean Macbeth, though. Increase that gap to 1.36 seconds just in the last few turns. So looks like Richard Elward's going to be okay there. Just ahead, Jake Burton in 6th place has got Mick Cracknell behind him, 1.4 seconds. So Mick Cracknell starting to reel Jake Burton in. We might get to see that battle heat back up for what is effectively 4th position. Jake Burton now within 2 seconds of Paul Gurrell in 4th, so these guys could actually catch up to Paul Gurrell. Paul has been struggling a little bit, at least after pit stops, has lost quite a bit of time to Luke Harvey in 3rd, or effectively in 2nd, as Todd Parks takes over the number 1 spot as he has not taken his pit stop yet. He's going to pass the pit lane one more time. He'll come across the start-finish line and take credit for leading a lap here at Phillip Island. He's got Bo Cubis coming up behind. I don't think Todd Parks, even if he don't pit, is going to be able to lead another one because Bo Cubis is just flying around this thing. Probably by the time they get back around, Bo Cubis will actually... Something happened with Todd. He's fallen right down the ranks. Down to 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Oh, he did pit at some point. I must have caught him just after his pit stop or something. I think that's exactly what happened. I just wasn't getting my live timing updates. It was still showing him in 1st. Actually, now he's going into the pits. I don't know what the heck's going on, guys. So anyway, Bo Cubis. Oh, I do know what's going on. Ah. I'll bet this will fix it. Or not. I think my cameras are still in replay, so that's why my live timing is changing well before what's going on screen. But this new controls I got don't work quite like the last one, so I don't have a button to go live. I think I might have found it. So things resume with Bo Cubis in the lead, Luke Harvey in second. Luke Harvey now 8.3 seconds down from the leader. Paul Gorell 2.3 seconds back from Luke. He's got Jake Burton coming up pretty quick, 1.7 seconds now, so Jake has gained about 3/10 of a second in the last lap or so. Jake's got Mick Cracknell 1.7 seconds behind him. And then a pretty big gap back to Richard Elward. Richard back in 6th. 7.4 seconds back from Mick Cracknell. Then Sean McBeth 1.4 seconds back from Richard Elward. Ross Rizzo. Ross is starting to maybe gain on Sean McBeth a little bit, 1.2 seconds back. We'll keep an eye on that, see if Ross is gaining anything on Sean McBeth. Brian Borg in 9th, Adam Hyland in 10th, Kevin Bualasa in 11th, Todd Parks in 12th, Rory Windrum in 13th. Tim Faltis in 14th. Sylvian Moraine in 15th. Craig Jones 16th. Raymond Stair in 17th. And Cameron Dance is the only car off the track 21 laps in. Jake Burton has caught and passed Paul Gorell. Moved Jake up into 3rd position. Last we seen Jake, he was 1.7 seconds back, so I'm guessing maybe an off track or some little mistake from Paul Gorell let Jake catch up pretty quick, because Mick Cracknell's still a second and a half back. I think we'll go back and take a look and watch that pass. Alright, back live again. Bo Cubis still out in front. Luke Harvey in second by about 3 seconds now over Jake Burton. We'll see if, with 5 laps left, if Jake can reel in 3 seconds worth of gap between he and Luke Harvey. Paul Gorell now in 4th, 2.1 seconds over teammate Mick Cracknell. Richard Elward still back in 6th. He's 8.1 seconds back. Closest battle on the track right now is this battle between Todd Parks and Kevin Bualasa. Kevin Bualasa in 11th, Todd Parks in 12th. Todd definitely with the fresher car. Todd was the last one to hit pit lane. Ross Rizzo now closing in on Sean McBeth for 7th place, making this battle the closest battle on the track. Or one of them. There is one other one that is close. Ross Rizzo going to be patient and just kind of stay behind Sean McBeth for now, as the battle for 14th is heating up. Craig Jones is in 14th. Tim Faltus, I guess is how you would say his name. I've always called him Tim Faltz, but I can see now that that's not correct. But Tim is now about 0.9 seconds back from Craig Jones. He looked like he had him there. He was within half a second, but now fallen off to a full second back. And it could be that Craig Jones has just actually caught and got around Tim Faltz, and I didn't catch that in time, and just seen that they were half a second separated the two. But it's looking like Craig Jones now pulling away pretty easily, 1.1 seconds now from Tim Faltz. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Craig Jones had caught and passed Tim Faltz for 14th. Todd Parks still trying to catch up and get around Kevin Bualasa. Half a second separate those two. Ross Rizzo, outside, he's going to get loose. Spinner out in the dirt. He's going to come on just in front of Brian Borg. And so Rizzo so far holding on to 8th position. Brian Borg definitely trying to get around him, as Rizzo probably a little shook up from the incident there. Brian Borg definitely applying significant pressure. Rizzo able to hold on to that 8th place. We'll see if Brian Borg can get up there and get the pass done and gain one last place before this thing's over. Oh, just ahead of these guys. Somebody missed the turn. That is Sylvian Moraine. That's exactly what that little runoff road's for. Just in case you don't get stopped, you got someplace that you can head off to get out of the way. And that's exactly what he did. Waited for traffic to get by. And he'll head back out on the track. And Borg still trying to throw everything he's got at Ross Rizzo. While those two are going at it, we'll check back on the battle for 11th. Kevin Bualasa and Todd Parks. Kevin Bualasa still holding on to 11th. Todd Parks, zero point 0.7 seconds back. He should be able to reel that in just a little bit on this long straight. He got it up to about 0.583 now. I think Kevin's just quite a bit faster through that last section of track and pulls away just a little bit from Todd. So we'll have to see when they get up to that third section if Kevin starts to pull away a little bit. Check on our leaders. He's getting ready to cross the line, and he's already crossed the line, picked up the white flag, and he will be on the final lap. 10.83 seconds ahead of second place Luke Harvey. Great drive from Bo Cubis here today. Luke Harvey has done quite well as well. Jake Burton 1.3 seconds back. Not looking like he's going to be able to catch up to Luke Harvey. Paul Gorell back in 4th. Mick Cracknell in 5th. Richard Elward 6th. Sean McBeth has about 1.7 seconds back from Richard Elward at this point in 7th. Brian Borg has got his way around Ross Rizzo. Ross now 1.1 seconds back. Adam Highland. Thought I was clicked on the wrong car there for a second. But Ross and Adam both in the same livery for a 9-10 finish for those guys. That's going to be a pretty good finish here in the V8 Supercars Americas Series. Congratulations to those two guys. Kevin Bualasa back in 11th. Still holding off Todd Parks. Bo Cubis has crossed the line to take victory here at Phillip Island. Luke Harvey's going to cross in 2nd. Jake Burton in 3rd. Paul Gorell in 4th. Mick Cracknell will finish in 5th. Richard Elward in 6th place. Sean McBeth in 7th. Brian Borg going to cross in 8th with Ross Rizzo in 9th. Adam Highland in 10th. Kevin Bualasa will finish ahead of Todd Parks in 12th. Roy Windrum looks like he'll get credit for 13th. Craig Jones 14th. Tim Faltis 15th. Raymond Stair 16th. Sylvian Moraine will persevere this tough track at Phillip Island here in 17th position. On the lead lap, so great effort from Sylvian. Cameron Dance, the only one to not finish here tonight. So of the 18 cars, 17 crossed the finish line. Fantastic race here at Phillip Island. Alright, let's get the official results. After 27 laps, Bo Cubis is your leader. Flag to flag, I'm pretty sure, in that number one spot, at least from the time that we joined the server on lap 3, he was in the number one spot. Luke Harvey in second, Jake Burton in third, Paul Gurrell fourth, Mick Cracknell fifth, Richard Elward in sixth, Sean Macbeth in seventh, Brian Borg with a late race pass to get him up into eighth, Ross Rizzo ninth, Adam Highland 10th, Kevin Bualasa will finish in 11th, Todd Parks 12th, Rory Windrum will finish 13th, Craig Jones 14th, Tim Faltis in 15th, Raymond Stair in 16th, Sylvian Moraine in 17th, and Cameron Dance will be credited with the 18th spot. So there it is. Bo Cubis with the fastest lap, a 1:29.3 on lap 17 after his pit stop there. So congratulations to Bo Cubis for his win, as well as Luke Harvey for a great second place finish, and Jake Burton for a very hard fought third place. Really had to do a lot of catching up to get up into third. So congratulations to all those guys. Not going to have TeamSpeak tonight, as I had to do a restore to get this thing to work tonight. TeamSpeak not working, so I'm not going to be able to do any post-race interviews. So I'll just wrap up by just saying thank you guys for sticking with me this season, even though it has been kind of a bumpy season for the broadcast here, with me working so late on so many of these days. But hopefully we'll get JD's PC fixed, or he'll get it fixed or something. He's about 1,000 miles from me, so I can't really do much to help him out. But having some issues with his PC shutting down just for no apparent reason. So hopefully he'll find out what's causing that and be able to join back up with me here in the broadcast for next season. I'm going to finish this season out, though, so long as I can, as so long as work don't keep me away on a Friday night. I should be here to cover the last few races here. Do want to, before I head off, I do want to cover the points coming into tonight's race. It was looking like a battle between Mick Cracknell and teammate Paul Gurrell for the championship season here in Season 4, which will be fantastic. I love getting a new champion, and it's looking very good, like that's exactly what's going to happen this season. Alright, so here are the points coming into tonight's race. Mick Cracknell was in the lead with 1,111 points. Paul Gurrell with 937 points. Ethan Greg Galt had 811. Marlon McMullen with 803. Tony Clearstream 741. Jake Burton 731. Corey Preston 661. Kevin Bualasa 629. Jason Quire in 9th with 591. Luke Harvey in 10th with 558. So with 2 drop rounds, that's really going to bring these scores a lot closer than these points here. But I believe even after the 2 drop rounds, Mick Cracknell is going to be in that number 1 spot. But boy, it's going to be close. So the finish of this season is definitely going to be a hard-fought race between 2 teammates, it looks like, Mick Cracknell and Paul Gurrell. It's definitely going to be an interesting to watch, so I can't wait. anytime we get a new champion to the V8 Supercars Americas season, we will send the new champion a V8 Supercars Americas trophy. It's not anything too whoop-de-doo. It's about 400 and some millimeters tall, which I guess that's probably going to be about 18 to 20 inches tall. And it's kind of a cool looking little trophy. I assume it's plastic. It have an engraving with the champion's name on it and the series and stuff. Kind of neat, just something worth fighting for 12 weeks. If a repeat champion wins, they get a cool little medallion that says that they're a champion and they're a repeat champion, and will have their name on it, what season they won, and stuff like that. So that is what the prize is here in the V8 Supercars America Series, and this is looking like it could be a season where I'll be sending out another trophy. I got to send out a trophy last season to Sean Kelly. He was a repeat winner of the championship, but he won before we started sending out the trophies, so he did get a trophy for last season. And then, of course, Ethan Greg Galt has got a trophy and several medallions. And Marlon McMullen's got, he actually has got a couple trophies and no medallions, even though he's won like 4 or 5 championships, because the first several championships we didn't do anything, and then I decided to do trophies, and then I decided to do the whole trophy for first time winners and medallion for second. So he's got 2 trophies. But I think I've got it all figured out now to where every first time winner will get a trophy, and repeat winners will get that little medallion thing, just so they've got something to show for at least winning a championship here in the V8 Supercars America Series. I appreciate you guys joining and watching here tonight. It was another great race here at Phillip Island. Phillip Island does always produce some great racing. It's going to be a really great race on Monday when the Australian V8 Supercars hit the track, and that's going to be Monday prime time for the Australians, and it's going to be very early in the morning here in America. For the Americans that watch this series, that will be around 2 or 3 in the morning when the Australians hold their V8 Supercars race. So be about 7 or 8 o'clock, I imagine, in Australia PM for those guys, right? Prime time. And for us, about 2 o'clock in the morning here in America. So if you're awake here in America and want to give that thing a watch, it's definitely going to be some great racing. And then, of course, for all the Australians watching, you know when it is there in your own time zone. About the same time it is here for me in my time zone for this race. So you guys enjoy that. That'll be coming at you on Monday. Brought to you by Sam Sutton. Appreciate Sam's effort in bringing you guys that series. It's great fun to go back and watch that series as well. So big thanks to Sam for covering that, and we will see you guys next week, hopefully. Thanks again.